Good evening, and thank you for joining me here at the First Alert Desk. My name's Karli Barnett. We want to give you a look at some of the stories we are following for your Saturday evening. I see Angela is watching. Thank you so much, Angela. We appreciate you tuning in. In just a few minutes, we're going to have First Alert meteorologist Cutter Martin give you a look at your forecast. We know that you are anticipating the rest of your weekend. He is going to be here to walk you through it. It's a great opportunity for you to ask him your weather questions for the weather in your area. But in the meantime, we do want to give you a look at some of the stories that we are following. You can join us tonight at 10 on Peachtree TV. You can also join us at 11 on WANF. We hope to see you there. And of course, keep in mind, you can always stay up to date with the latest on AtlantaNewsFirst.com, as well as our free Atlanta News First app. That way you can get breaking news updates sent directly to your phone. Our first story we're going to talk about is one that our reporter Bridget Spencer is covering, and that is because family and loved ones came together to honor a woman who they say was a victim of domestic violence and ultimately a victim of a murder-suicide. They held a vigil and a balloon release this evening to honor her life. This was in Fulton County this evening. Police say that 44-year-old Salathia Britton was killed in a murder-suicide about a week ago. Her family, friends, and loved ones gathered together in Duncan Park in Fairburn, where they held a balloon release. They say Britton was the mother of 3 children and taken far too soon. They shared touching memories as well as written messages to her. Chattahoochee Hills police are investigating her death as a murder-suicide involving her husband, Quincy Britton. Her family says the two were in the middle of a divorce and that she was dealing with domestic violence. She also leaves behind a grandchild. The family says they hope her story can raise more awareness to domestic violence and what it can do to families. Now, keep in mind, Georgia has dedicated a hotline for victims of domestic violence. It is available 24 hours a day to speak to someone about your situation or to find resources to help. If you want to find that number, just go to AtlantaNewsFirst.com.
It's not always black eyes and bruised lips. It's, the financial manipulation. It's, verbal abuse. It's a lot of things that our women, especially our women of color, who don't always have the resources and the support, are going through every day.
As we said, family, friends, and loved ones gathering together to remember her life. I have that number for you. Go ahead and jot this down. There are 2 domestic violence hotline numbers. Both are available 24 hours a day. The first one is specifically for the state of Georgia. That is 1-800-33-HAVEN or 1-800-334-2836. The next, we know you may not necessarily be watching from Georgia. This is a national hotline. That's 1-800-799-SAFE or 1-800-799-7233. Again, our reporter Bridget Spencer is going to have more on this later on this evening. We know there were a lot of heavy hearts out there tonight. The next story that I want to pull up for you here is a protest that took place outside of the DeKalb County Jail. And that is after a veteran was found deceased in his cell. Let's see if I can pull this up for you here. I apologize, guys. All right. Here we go. All right, we have that video for you right here. Protesters gathered outside of the DeKalb County Jail today. They say they are demanding justice for a veteran who died on the floor of one of its cells. Christian Collins died after hitting his head inside of a jail cell back in March. His mother says she obtained video of the incident and says jail staff did not do anything for 3 hours after Collins fell. protesters joining her in her calls for accountability today. Collins was behind bars on charges of obstruction and simple battery against police.
Kristen Collins, even though he was incarcerated, he deserved appropriate care and respect. His life mattered.
Christian Karli! Christian Karli! Christian Karli! Christian.
Now, his mother said that Collins suffered from PTSD from his time in the military and at the time of the incident was having a mental health episode. The next story is one that our reporter Blake Devine is working on tonight, and we know that dementia affects so many people here as well as their loved ones who may have to serve as caretakers. But this man is working to raise awareness. He is out and about, cycling, riding around Metro Atlanta for a cause much bigger than himself. Spencer Klein is riding from coast to coast this summer to raise awareness for the disorder that took his father's life. He was at the Freedom Park Trail near the Carter Center today. That is where he rolled through this afternoon. He started his cross-country journey back in June in Oregon. He will finish it next week in Charleston. Just yesterday, Klein surpassed his $50,000 fundraising goal.
Coming in and seeing the skyline, it was like, wow, I made it. It's crazy being back in the city that I flew out of a month and a half ago to get to Oregon, and now I'm back and only have a week left.
Just incredible to see what he's doing, particularly biking out in that heat. But we all know that it is for a good cause and raising awareness. Again, our reporter Blake Devine is going to have more on that for you this evening. I see several more of you are joining us. We have Octavia, Angela, Josh, Alex. Thank you all for joining us this evening. Let's go ahead and take a look outside. The sun is setting on our Saturday, so now we are looking ahead to our Sunday and what the weather has in store for us. We have First Alert meteorologist Cutter Martin here, and he wants to give you a look at what we can do to plan ahead for our Sunday. But of course, I mean, our Saturday still isn't over yet, Cutter.
Yeah, nice evening. In fact, a little cooler than this afternoon. So, hey, maybe even better time to get outside and enjoy the weekend with more clear sky, at least mostly clear sky across Metro Atlanta. And the fact that temperatures are starting to cool. It was hot this afternoon. We were in the low to mid 90s. Now, though, that same dry air that allowed us to heat up so much during the day, that is giving way to cooler conditions this evening and heading into the overnight hours. I want to thank you, Alex, Angela, Octavia Green, Josh Coe, and Angela Moore, all watching on Atlanta News First YouTube account. And a reminder, if you have any weather questions, comments, concerns, YouTube is probably the best place to get those across, though I will be monitoring basically a chat station, and you can text us, text questions, text videos, text pictures. You can do so to 470-777-WANF. Again, that is 470-777-WANF 9263. So we're going to be monitoring that thread as well. I want to go ahead and get you to the forecast. We'll start with the hour by hour. And outside right now, it is still warm, but gradually getting just a little bit cooler. So a pleasant evening is in the cards. It's on the way in the First Alert forecast. In fact, only getting more pleasant from here on out. I think in general, temperatures back into the upper 70s, the lower 80s as we get into the late evening hours. And then overnight tonight, we're going to bottom out in the 60s and lower 70s. So tomorrow morning, perhaps even nicer than this morning. Just getting graphics situated here. Give me just one moment. We'll get going here, letting some more folks join the chat. If you do have any weather questions, comments, concerns, as mentioned, all you have to do is go to YouTube, or you can text us. I'm First Alert meteorologist Cutter Barton. Here is that hour-by-hour forecast. From the lower 90s back into the mid-80s. Pretty decent cooling trend here. Again, dry air lets it heat up during the day very quickly and then cool back through the evening hours. Outside right now, dealing with lots of sunshine. In fact, it's a gorgeous one out there. Just a few clouds as we look east, away from the setting sun, which is, setting behind the station, Atlanta News First. Temperature at Hartsfield-Jackson right now is in the upper 80s. Still feeling like it's in the lower 90s. Again, that west breeze tends to be a drier one for us, pulling in some drier air, some lower humidity. Nonetheless, still enough humidity to have it feeling just a little bit hotter than what the thermometer reads. The skyline there looks a little cloudy. We do have some gray clouds popping up, but not much in the way of rain. Little shower here. Portions of Oglethorpe County, Greene County, 2 tiny little showers, one to the west of Enterprise, another here just to the west of Greensboro, right over the northern shores of Lake Oconee there. Kind of on that between Madison and Greensboro, north of the Putnam and Greene County line. Tomorrow morning, we're going to wake up to nice temperatures. Here's a look at lows. Notice how it's cooler on the north and west sides of the metro on up into the mountains. 62 in Ellijay, 70 Helen, 68 Rome, 66 in Carrollton. So some mid to upper 60s even down into the north and west sides of the metro. East and southeast sides, though, we're hanging on to a little bit more moisture. It's feeling a little bit more humid, so you're going to stay just a little bit warmer tonight. 75 for low in Eatonton, Covington 72, Athens 73, Griffin 79, LaGrange 69. Notice the greens, north and west, the oranges, south and east. That kind of lays out the spread in temperature that's expected tomorrow morning. North Metro, as far as Atlanta is concerned, probably feeling the most comfortable. And we do have a pleasant start tomorrow morning. Again, it's going to be pretty nice. A cooler after sunset period this evening, and then going into tomorrow morning, it's going to be a mighty fine, no issues. Hot Sunday afternoon, though, is in the first alert forecast. And here is that hour by hour right now with temperatures back into the upper 70s and lower 80s during brunch time tomorrow. So if you have brunch plans, it'll be nice. Alex may be asking about that East Point weather. Much the same tomorrow as the city of Atlanta, whether you're watching from East Point, whether you're watching from Riverdale, the city of Atlanta, Decatur, on up to the northwest side. Not bad at all. Alex and East Point tomorrow are going to be back in the low to mid 90s. Lots of sunshine. We'll call it partly cloudy. Your rain chance tomorrow in East Point, Alex, is less than 20%. High temperatures tomorrow. Once again, much like today, we warmed into the lower 90s. In fact, probably have an update here from the National Weather Service as far as how hot it was today. And we'll go ahead and take a gander at that. Again, this data, we'll have the official report here a little bit later this evening. But as of 4:35 at 2:49, our high temperature was 93. We may have squeezed out another degree there. I'll get that official update here within the next hour or so from the National Weather Service office in Peachtree City. And again, that high temperature occurring at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport. So much the same tomorrow. We'll go 94, 96 in Athens, 96 in Eatonton, 94 LaGrange, 94 Thomaston, 86 Ellijay, Helen 87, Rome is 91. Now keep in mind, those are actual temperatures, not what it feels like. 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, we're looking at a feels like temperature of 105 in Eatonton. Again, you can tell where the humidity is. 93 in Atlanta may actually feel a degree cooler than what the thermometer reads in Atlanta because the air is going to be drier. You get to Rockdale County, though. You get to Newton and Walton counties. You get down to Spalding County, Upson County, Lamar County, Butts County, over towards Putnam County, and then on up into Greene County, Oglethorpe County, southern and eastern portions of the Atlanta News First viewing area. There's enough humidity around to make it feel even hotter than what the thermometer reads. Now you get up to the west side, northwest side of the metro. It'll be in the lower 90s most likely, but it'll actually feel like it's in the 80s. So it's still going to be a hot afternoon, yes, but nowhere near as hot as it could be as we get into tomorrow afternoon. And certainly on the northwest side, that lower humidity, I think you'll feel that difference, especially with the light breeze blowing. So tomorrow afternoon and evening, again, starting at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, notice not much in the way of showers and thunderstorms, maybe an isolated shower or two east metro. Down towards Lake St. Clair and Oconee, on into East Georgia. We're talking about, 1 or 2 showers popping up. This is not a big impact on your plans tomorrow. This is certainly no reason to cancel the plans. Just keep your rain or your precipitation and your lightning alerts turned on in the First Alert weather app, just in case you get that extra heads up, that initial first alert that, hey, a few showers and thunderstorms are popping up in your area. And then we're going to drop that rain chance as we get into tomorrow evening. Again, mainly confined to areas east of us. Monday morning, we're dry. Monday afternoon, kiddos going back to school. Another couple of districts, just isolated showers. Again, mainly east and northeast of metro Atlanta. So pool plans tomorrow, not bad. Make sure you are staying hydrated. And a reminder, a code orange air quality alert is in effect tomorrow, meaning that if you have COPD, if you have asthma, if you have any other respiratory issue, and you go out and especially strenuous activities tomorrow during the afternoon, it's maybe a little bit harder to breathe. You may suffer from some symptoms there. Not the best time to get outside. So if you suffer from any of those, move the strenuous outdoor activities a little earlier in the day, perhaps the morning, pushing back closer to or just after sunset. That would be the best. And that's because temperatures will be a little bit cooler, and also the pollutants that are trapped at the surface. What has prompted that code orange air quality alert, those will be more dispersed and less trapped at the surface, and air quality will generally be a little better in the mornings and in the evenings. First alert 7-day forecast, more of the same Monday, Tuesday, slight change Wednesday. Bigger changes back half of the work week here, not a washout, but some isolated to widely scattered showers and a couple thunderstorms back in the forecast. And with more moisture in the air, more clouds in the sky, we're going to bring down those temperatures just a little bit. A few showers and thunderstorms possible each day, but by no means will any one day be a washout. In fact, rain coverage looking fairly hit or miss. Still, though, an increasing chance of showers and a couple of thunderstorms as we get into the middle of the week. Next thing we're tracking forecast-wise, and not necessarily an impact to us here in Atlanta, but an area of storminess, a tropical wave. You can see that big blob of red there to the east of the Antilles. That is a tropical wave, or kind of bunch of persistent storminess that has a now 90% chance of tropical development anywhere within that red polygon, that little red kind of oval shape there. Anywhere within that red, we could see our next tropical system, depression, or storm develop. The next name on the list is Ernesto. That does not necessarily represent a track, but you get an idea. Storm, or the system and the storminess, generally moving west or west-northwest, and anywhere along that general motion and along that trek, it could develop into our next tropical depression or tropical storm. Likely will, with that 90% chance of development. Now, where does it go after that? Very uncertain, but interest along the East Coast. You need to keep an eye on it. More attention needed if you're traveling in Puerto Rico, perhaps Haiti, the Dominican Republic, the U.S. or British Virgin Islands, kind of the northern portion of the Lesser Antilles, perhaps the Turks and Caicos, and then Bermuda getting into the southwestern Atlantic. You need to keep an eye on this. Lesser extent, but still need some attention if you're watching from the East Coast, in particular the Bahamas, Florida, and then the Outer Banks. We will be watching this pretty closely here over the next few days, just serving at the very least as a reminder that we are really heading into the busiest part of the Atlantic hurricane season, and by no means are we done. We're just now starting to ramp things back up across the Atlantic basin. We'll keep you updated right here, streaming on Atlanta News First Plus, also in the First Alert Weather app, and your next check-in with the Hurricane Center new forecast, new update coming in tonight at 11 p.m. from the National Hurricane Center. Lots of heat in our forecast, some drier heat for the next couple of days, especially Metro Atlanta points north and west. Humidity comes back for everyone. We're going to keep relatively hot temperatures and a slightly greater chance of rain in the forecast as we get into the middle and latter portion of the coming work week. I want to thank you for tuning in. Again, taking you live outside from West Midtown, looking back towards Midtown. That's DeKalb County there in the distance. And you can see a few clouds. Temperatures are cooling off after a hot afternoon. Full forecast coming your way in the First Alert Weather app. Another update, recording that, sending it your way here in a few moments. And then you can join Karli, Barnett, and I on Atlanta News First on Peachtree TV, Atlanta CW affiliate, starting at 10 p.m. Back with another check of the forecast, including that update from the National Hurricane Center tonight at 11.